The Dahlia's version 1 is finally here, and after almost a year at this point of her first ever appearance in the game, which actually also proves that Acheron probably didn't kill the Annihilation Gang, or at least not all of them. Let's just look at her version 1 and see what they cooked up, and remember, of course, this is her version 1, and changes are 100% imminent. This is the very first version of the Dahlia. I'm sure Hycelins, Saridra, and the Fate collab are going to take a toll on your wallet and your jades, if not already. Not to mention that Evernight and Tarai are also arriving very soon. Thankfully though, Loot Bar is here to save you. They offer you much cheaper and affordable prices, up to 25%, just by using their link down below, which also is a big help to me as well. I'm sure you've heard of them before. They've worked with Makeron Z and Raiden Shogun, kind of the bigger YouTubers that have worked with Loot Bar, and I'm here to tell you they're doing good because the amount difference is quite big. Like this big. You can basically save a bunch of money just by going to Loot Bar. We're gonna buy this big boy pack over here to show you an example, of course. Enter your UID and what server your account is in. Click the top up now after you are done. Wait up to 5 minutes after you see this screen, and boom. Money. The top-up bonus is also active on Loot Bar, and by using my link down below, you will save 10% off of your next purchase with my special coupon, alongside a bunch of other coupons that they offer when you first visit the store. Okay, let's take a look at the kit first, and then we will take a look at everything else. I'm skipping the basic attack as usual, so her skill deploys a 3-turn lasting zone that has the usual Ron May tickdown. This will deal some damage on activation of the skill, and as for the zone, it will increase your break efficiency by 50% while it is active, and any damage after the weakness is broken on any enemy will be converted to Super Break. This also does mean that with Ruan Mei on your team active, 100% break efficiency is fully achievable just like that. I don't know if that makes sense, which I'm personally fine with. Now for the ultimate, it applies a debuff on all of the enemies for 4 turns, which is quite a unique number, and it deals a lot of damage. This debuff reduces the defenses of the enemies and will also apply the weaknesses of Dahlia and any ally that is under the Dance Partner effect. What is the Dance Partner effect? The talent gives her a 35 energy upon entering the battle, and it will also be applying the Dance Partner effect to herself and the unit that started the battle. If no one is her dance partner, so if you didn't start the battle yourself, the highest break effect unit on the team will be taking that spot automatically. Now, after any dance partner attacks any weakness broken enemy, their attacks will convert to a super break, and additionally, if any dance partner attacks an enemy, she will be launching a follow-up attack that deals 5 separate instances of damage to that specific enemy, and for this to not be very broken, you can only trigger it once every turn. Additionally, each instance of her follow-up attack will convert to super break as usual, but the damage multiplier will be a lot higher, so if you want to deal the most damage on her, you'll need to use your follow-up attacks to deal the super break damage instead of just breaking the toughness bar. Finally, to end the kit section, her technique makes a 20-second dimension with her candles, and obviously any enemy in this candle zone will not be able to attack. If she enters combat with her technique active, she'll automatically deploy her skill zone, and additionally, if she can break any enemies during this attack, then that attack will also be converted to super break. Her version 1 actually seems relatively balanced, and I'd say she does have a solid kit, but I cannot exactly place her in a good or bad tier considering there are other break effect units to compare her to. Now let's take a look at her traces. Trace 1 provides your entire team with break effect, which scales on her attack plus another 50% for one singular turn, but this effect has a unique kind of mechanic which allows it to be re-triggered by any ally if you shield or heal Dahlia, with this effect having the ability to be triggered multiple times in a single turn. Basically, you'll be needing a constant supply of either heals or shields, so you can keep this break effect increase as active as possible so you have the most damage as possible. Trace 2 makes her a little more skill positive, with her follow-up attacks recovering a skill point. After you trigger her first ever follow-up attack, there will be a kind of cooldown for every 2 follow-up attacks, so this skill point can be triggered again, and lastly, for Trace 3, this is actually pretty interesting. When any ally applies a weakness, their speed will increase by a lot for 2 turns, and additionally, if that ally applies a fire weakness, they will also be gaining a set amount of energy, with the cap being half of their max energy. This effect can be triggered by every single character, but has a cooldown of 1 turn. So let's say you apply fire weakness with Firefly, you will be gaining a bunch of speed for 2 turns, and then since you are a fire character, you will also be gaining a bunch of energy on top of that. Firefly's best teammate is just arriving in Honkai Star Rail, and Firefly couldn't be happier. Okay, I will remain as calm as possible talking about the light cone, because god damn! The Yandere's light cone increases her break effect by a ton, and it additionally increases the damage dealt for the ally that started the battle, on top of giving that damage buff to herself as well. If no one was able to trigger the battle, she and the highest break effect ally on the field will be taking these effects instead. Additionally, when the wearer applies a weakness, 1 whole skill point will be recovered, and this skill point is incredibly valuable in break teams, so they have to make it a little more balanced. You can only trigger this effect once, and its only way to be gained again is by resetting it with your ultimate, which I would say is pretty okay, but I am expecting a few more changes on the light cone. Lastly, for the Eidolons, they are very few in wording, so we'll go through them quickly as well. For the E1, it applies the talent's Super Break damage multiplier provided to the dance partner to all of your ally characters, with the dance partner additionally gaining a 40% boost. Now, once any dance partner in your team uses an attack, they will deal an additional fixed amount of toughness reduction, which is equal to the percentage of the enemy's target's max toughness. What this basically means is that if you are fighting, let's say, a boss type enemy which has a lot of toughness, you should be able to reduce it way faster, and you don't really have to rely on just one person dealing all the toughness. And additionally, this effect can only trigger once per enemy target, and the trigger count for each target will be reset after the enemy dies. Her E2 additionally reduces the enemy's all-type respen by 18% if they are afflicted with the wilt effect, which is from the ultimate, and when any enemy enters the field, they will be automatically inflicted with the ultimate effect. E4 increases the instances of damage on your follow-up attack by 5, so now you can deal 10 instances, which is a huge amount, and as well, every hit will increase the target's damage taken by 12%, which will be lasting for 2 turns. And the big one, the E6, it will increase her break effect by 150% just like that, and when you use her talent's follow-up attack, she will be advancing the action of every dance partner on the field by 15%, which is actually pretty insane because this is basically a dance put into a follow-up attack, which, let me remind you, is her strongest ability and one of the easiest things to proc in her kit. From what I got showing you guys this version 1 and from what I read myself, the Dahlia actually does look very promising for break teams, and her animations are not as flashy as Cyrene or Phynon, but I think the facial expressions on her yandere look especially are incredibly clean, and I'm sure nobody's complaining about that. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day or night. Peace.